the Washington Wizards were in trouble. They lost half their all-star backcourt, Bradley Beal, when he fouled out with 5 minutes to go. At the time, he'd been the only player doing anything for them offensively. But then he got picked up by John Wall, the other half of that all-star backcourt. And with Washington's season on the line, Wall didn't let the Wizards lose. Bradley Beal was understandably heated after he fouled out with 4:58 remaining in a tie game on a questionable call, to say the least, when DeMar DeRozan fell into Beal chasing after a loose ball. "12 minutes to decide how this series, and the season, will go. That's what the fourth quarter of Game 4 means for the Washington Wizards. Win and they go back to Toronto for Game 5 with the series knotted at 2 wins apiece. Lose, and their season is all but over. A potential turning point, Bradley Beal committing a very ill-advised, and completely avoidable, fourth foul just as he's getting hot. For much of the first half, the Toronto Raptors looked firmly in control of Game 4. The third quarter, however, has been all Washington Wizards. Meanwhile, in non-suit news, Jose Calderon is starting for Cleveland in Game 4 because George Hill is out with a back issue. Not exactly the kind of news Cleveland needs as it tries to climb out of the 2-1 hole it finds itself in against the Indiana Pacers. The story of the first half of Game 4 between the Golden State Warriors and San Antonio Spurs is pretty straightforward. The San Antonio Spurs have made threes, and the Golden State Warriors have turned the ball over. It wasn't pretty, and it wasn't easy. But, after blowing a 20-point lead, the Milwaukee Bucks managed to survive and tie up their best-of-7 series at 2 games apiece with a 104-102 victory over the Boston Celtics Sunday afternoon. This is why Giannis Antetokounmpo is arguably the game's most unique player, 7 feet tall, has the ball on the perimeter, and just drives to the rim and hammers one on one of the league's best interior defenders in Al Horford. Well, the whole "let's wear the same outfit" thing worked for a half for the Cleveland Cavaliers in Game 3. Perhaps trying it again will result in a full game's worth of play in Game 4? As ESPN's Dave McMenamin notes here, the Cavaliers are back in matching suits for Game 4, black this time, after grey for Game 3. The Toronto Raptors ended the first quarter of Game 4 up 8, a margin created largely because of DeMar DeRozan's ability to get to the foul line. Potential turning point in this game, 2 fouls on Kyle Lowry halfway through the first quarter. Want to know why the Toronto Raptors are off to a strong start in Game 4 against the Wizards? Scoring in transition. The Washington Wizards are off to a bad start in Game 4, much like they were in losses to the Toronto Raptors in Games 1 and 2 of this series. Manu Ginobili isn't sure if his Hall of Fame career will extend one more season or not. If it doesn't, it was fitting that what may have been his last shot in San Antonio was a three-pointer to sock away a game.